Hey everyone, welcome back to another Friday video tutorial here at Mrs. Lincoln's Inkin. A few weeks ago I posted this little Dracula card who I named Sucker. How original, I know, and I had a few requests to ask how I made him, and I took this card to a scrapbooking weekend retreat last weekend and also had a few people ask me how I made them. So I thought that I would share that with you today. So let's go ahead and get started. First, what you're going to need is a piece of Marina Mist or whatever cardstock you want for his skin color. I chose Marina Mist because to me that just looks a lot like a vampire. And this is cut at normal size of 4 1/4 by 11 and then scored down the middle at 5 1/2. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and ink up the edges just to give it a little bit more dimension. Now I'm not using the Marina Mist ink. I don't want to do a tone on tone. I want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm using the Night of Navy ink. And I'm just going to take my sponge and I'm just going to lightly go on the edges here. I don't want to go too far in on the cardstock, just right on the edges here. So just do that real fast. Perfect. So now we can put our ink pad away. Now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I made his hair. So I'm using a piece of basic black cardstock, and this is cut at 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. And I'm going to take my 1 3/4 circle punch here. And what I'm going to do, and what I do, is instead of lining my basic black right up here at the very edge, I kind of look in there and eyeball it with, I don't know if you can see it, with that metal edge in there. Because I want it to have this lip right here. I don't want it to be right on the side. I want him to have some sideburns. So I'm going to line that up on the inside with that metal piece, and I'm only going to punch a half moon. I'm not going to punch the whole circle. So I'm going to punch just like that. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up on the metal edge right there, and then I'm going to give him a punch, making sure that he's even here to the best of my ability. There we go. That looks good to me. There. So now this side is a little bit fatter than this side, so not to worry. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to trim just a little bit off of him. There, just like that. See, easy fix. And you can't really tell that that one's any bigger than that one. There we go. Alright. So that's going to be our hair. So I'm going to go ahead and snail this up right here. And I'm going to put this on the top of my card for his hair. Just like this. If I can get it even. We all know me, even is not my best quality. Alright, there we go. So that's what he looks like so far. So now, to make my eyeballs right here, we need 3 different size punches. We need two different sizes. We need the 1 3/8 circle punch, and then we need the 1 inch circle punch. And the reason I said 3 is because we're using 3 different colors, but we actually only need 2 punches. We're going to be using a scrap piece of Real Red, a scrap piece of Whisper White, and then a scrap piece of Basic Black. So the Whisper White and the Real Red are going to be in the same color. We're going to use those with our 1 3/8 circle punch. So we're going to punch out 2 of those. And then we're going to punch out 2 of the Whisper White in the 1 3/8. Just like that. So then once that's done, we're going to take our scrap of basic black and our 1-inch circle punch, and we're going to punch 2 of those out. Just like that. So now I gave my Dracula right here the real red right on the top. Now if you wanted to do the real red all the way around, then obviously you would just go one step either bigger with the real red or smaller with the Whisper White, and then you would have to do your black accordingly. But I just like the rim of the real red showing at the top. So I'm just going to take my Whisper White and I'm going to lay it right on the real red just so you get that sliver. Now I know that some of you out there are saying, oh well, you could just cut the real red in half and, you know, save that real red paper, and that's absolutely true. But I find when you cut it, when you're doing something like this, you get that edge right there on the side. So I just put the real red all on the back of my Whisper White. And that's obviously, that's just a preference. You absolutely could cut the real red in half and use it on both pieces. Absolutely. Okay, so then there is the start of our eyeballs. Now we're just going to take the basic black and we're just going to stick them right in our eyes where we want them. Now you could do them cross-eyed, you could do them googly-eyed. I'm just going to put mine straight on for right now. For this guy right here. Perfect. So now what we're going to do, sorry I had to reach for my pen there. I seem to be not having everything right there. So now I'm just going to take my white gel pen and I'm just going to make 2 little loop-dees, if you want, right there at the eyes, just to give it a little bit more realistic feeling. Just like that. So we're going to set those aside real fast. Now for his nose, we're going to use a piece of scrap Marina Mist, and we're going to use the large oval punch, and we're just going to punch one of those out, just like that. Now for this one, we are going to cut it in half, or however long you want your nose to be. I like mine, I guess, a little bit longer than half. So I'm just going to do a snip right there. Now I'm going to take my sponge again, and I'm going to take my Night of Navy, and I'm just going to sponge the edges of the nose. Now I'm not going to do the top edge right here because I don't want that to pop, because that's supposed to be, you know, on a nose, it's supposed to be flush against your skin somewhat. So I'm just going to do those 3 sides right there. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and assemble this part of my Frankenstein, or my Dracula. So I'm going to see where I want his nose, and then I'm just going to kind of position his eyes where I think that I want them, just to give me kind of a look feel first. And that looks good to me. So then I'm going to take my snail, put his nose on here, put it right there. And then I'm going to take his eyes, and I'm actually going to take some dimensionals here and pop his eyes up. So put an eye there, and put a dimensional there. Perfect. And then I'm just going to put these right where I want them. Make sure his eyes are straight. There we go. Perfect. So there he is. Cute little nose and eyes. Oh, I love him. Okay, so now to make his mouth and his teeth, we need 2 different things. To make his mouth, I actually use the Framelit Label Collection, and I use the second smallest framelit. And I'm going to just set this right on him with the point going down. Now I use a pencil first because I don't want to get marker on my framelits. And then I'm just going to put his mouth where I want to. And I'm going to start right in the center of that. Let me see if I can move you in a little bit closer. There we go. I'm going to start right in the center of that little circle here. And I'm just going to trace a line with my pencil going to the center of the circle on the other line. just like that. And then look at that cute little mouth. Oh my goodness, it doesn't get any more perfect than that. All right, move you back out here. Now I'm just going to come in with my basic black marker, and I'm just going to outline the mouth. Just like that. Perfect. I love it. Okay, so now for the teeth, I'm actually going to use the Blossom Builder Punch, and I'm going to be using that flower right there. You could use the smaller one if you wanted, but I like the looks of the bigger fangs, so that's why I use the bigger one. So I'm going to punch 2 of those out, just like that. Now I'm going to take my real red ink pad and my sponge, and I'm going to sponge just on the edges right here, just to make it look kind of like he just got done with dinner. Just like that. You could put more on one than the other, however you want to do it. So once that's done, I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to just snip. So it just gives me that little fang right there. Just like that. Come back over here. Now, a girl that I went to the weekend retreat with, she made a really good idea that if you took an X-Acto knife and put a little slit in there, you could actually put the tooth up in there. I like the look of just it being on top, so that's just what I do. But you could, you know, absolutely put the X-Acto knife trick in there, and then you could have a look all of your own. And then get his teeth straight. Kind of curved up like that. There you go. There is your little Dracula sucker card. How cute. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video all. Until next time, happy inking!